Hello, and welcome to day 3.
Third song on the record.
Concrete Kitten.
When I started writing this song, Newborn Sun had just come out, and I was also really into necrophagists, so I just had this idea of, like, what if Sean was, like, super shreddy like necrophagists?
This song was, for the longest time, called a bullshit button.
Because I used to have, I don't have it anymore. You'll just have to believe me. It's a button. It's like one of those Staples Easy buttons, and it just says bullshit on it, and it just says, that was bullshit.
A lot of you know this song already. We shot a music video for this at Berkeley in 2014, came in around October.
We had to have Sam's brother Max play bass for that, which was cool. And we found out about it on like Wednesday, and I think we had the session on Friday or something. We had like a really insanely short window of time to like practice and get everything tight for the session, which was funny.
This song features what has been called the lead. That thing's really technically demanding, and lots of slides and stuff to make it sound cool, and it's really fast.
The final polished version that's on the album is truly the best representation of what the song can sound like. I think it's super groovy. The guitar tones are varied and really interesting and tight, and there's just a lot of fantastic playing and singing.
This song might be the hardest to sing live because the intro is just blasting and then you get like a second to breathe, but then you're right back at it again, and then there's that bridge, which is really hard. I try to kind of keep that awesome tone that we have in there, but it ends up being really difficult and I have to balance it out just in order to hit everything.
I think everything Adam did with that song is like phenomenal. There's been a lot of variations on that song, and I think the one we landed on was really awesome.
I'm pretty happy about my role in it because I've actually stayed pretty busy. There's a lot of textural things that I add that keep the song fleshed out, and I think in turn there's a couple spots that I'm not playing. Like I love the spots where I don't play. I love about a minute and a half in, there's this guitar riff and there's just so much space. Like there's just so much air to breathe, and that's also not something that you hear as much as I'd like to. So you can hear the ringing of cymbals and just rests. Who knew that rests could be so beautiful?
Lyrically, this song is about a girl. The girl is talking about moments that are private and that couples do alone.
For the longest time, this song was a rough minute and a half idea that James wasn't sure what to do with. And one day I came back and he was just like super into the song, and he started going off into that middle section with all those cool seventh chord slidey things and the vocal call and response section.
In the last video, I said Dizziness, the end fill, is going to be the only fill that I play the same way every time. And that's wrong, because there's a fill in this song that I like, and it's the crossover fill before Adam's really awesome vocal breakdown, or I don't know what you call it, but one of my favorite vocal performances by Adam on the album.
So yes, we did a studio update video forever ago of the Stone Cold line that everyone seemed to dug, and my personal friends even dug, which is weird because none of them are into prog or any of this music, but they like that.
It's still really heavy, and it's not like Chug City, which I think is cool, that you can create something that's melodically heavy and aggressive and not have it be like low tuned. Obviously low tuned breakdowns are great, and I love Thy Art Is Murder. But
Richard has a sick solo after that section that was never going to be there.
Originally we had another guitar solo there, and then we were all sitting on Facebook one day and I just said, Richard, do a solo here, it would be cool. And he's like, okay.
It's a frantic quick solo. You're like, hey, you got about 8 bars, play 1,000 notes.
I think like the next day he sent us a demo, like MIDI version of that, what's on the album, and we were all just like, yeah, that's perfect.
I sent him a first version of what I was coming up with, and James just said, hey, play more notes. Can we get some 16-note triplets in there? Can you just play faster? I was like, well, but I had a lot of fun. It's nice that, even from what I had originally recorded and then what I got to add, just seeing the song as it changed and grew over the last couple of years has been really interesting.
So that ended up being on the album, which was sick.
Basically, Richard's the man.
And he completely nailed it. That was the last thing that was recorded on the record, I think.
That, along with some of the bits in Void, were my last contributions to the album. It fits really well on the record, but also has that recognizable element from before, since a lot of you probably already knew the song.
There's the one middle breakdown section that has all the weird time signatures in it that still flows quite nicely.
That section in particular, I was actually writing that with James, and I don't write too often, so it was cool to get an idea in there. I had a thought in my mind to just throw in a bunch of weird time signatures, and James went even further with it, writing that cool, like, harmonized guitar lead that kind of swirls out of that section.
See, I can stop and process my thoughts because I'm just going to cut to someone else, so I won't look stupid later. It's great. Oh,
There are some things that I am really looking forward to live, even differentiating from what's on the album to what I can continue to mess around with. There's some things that I am looking forward to continuing to transcribe and work into what I do.
That section was something I came up with because I wanted to have things be the same but different.
Well, another thing that I really like about Richard's edition is it's not these like buzzing synthesizers and spacey type things. It's just that real organic piano. I never pictured piano on these songs, and he nailed it. So kudos to that boy.
I'm really happy with the way that song turned out.
The vocals on this song have been recorded 3 or 4 different times. When we finally sat down to track it for the last time, pretty much the first take of everything that Adam was doing was awesome.
So yeah, bullshit button. Call it that from now on.